Canto 3rd, chapter 1st. Hare Krishna, welcome to all devotees. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, chapter 1st. Questions by Vidura, and we try to understand shloka number 33 and 34. Devaya
Om Namo Bhagavate
Narayanam
Vasudevaya
Namaskritya Naram Chaiva
Chaiva
Narottamam
Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nashtaki. In this shlokas we try to understand Devakī Aniruddha revealing the Lord's hidden divinity. Shlok 33 and 34. Kaschit Shivam Devaka-bhoja putryaha
Kachita Shivam Devaka-bhoja putryaha
Vishnu prajayaha eva deva matuh
Vishnu prajayaha eva deva matuh
या वै स्वगर्भेण ददार देवम्
या वै स्वगर्भेण दधार देवम्
त्रयी यथा यज्ञवितानम् अर्थम्
त्रयी यथा यज्ञवितानम् अर्थम्
अपि स्वीत आस्ते भगवान् सुखं वः
अपि स्वेदास्ते भगवान् सुखं वः
यः सात्वतां कामदुःख अनिरुद्धः
यः सात्वतां कामदुःख अनिरुद्धः
यम आमनन्ति स्म हि शब्दयोनिम्
यम आमनन्ति स्म हि शब्दयोनिम्
मनः मयं सत्त्वतुर्यतत्त्वम्
मनः मयं सत्त्वतुरीयतत्त्वम्
कश्चित् शिवं देवक-भोजपुत्र्याः विष्णु प्रजाया इव देवमातुः या वै स्वगर्भेण ददार देवं त्रयी यथा यज्ञवितानम् अर्थम् अपि स्वित् आस्ते भगवान् सुखं वः यः सात्वतां कामदुःख अनिरुद्धः यम आमनन्ति स्म हि शब्दयोनिम् मनोमयं सत्तुर्यतत्त्वम्. हरे कृष्ण.
कच्चित् शिवं देवक-भोजपुत्र्या विष्णुप्रजाया इव देवमातुः या वै स्वर्गगर्भेण ददार देवं त्रयी यथा यज्ञवितानमर्थम् अपि स्वेदास्ते भगवान् सुखं वा यः सात्वतां कामदुःख अनिरुद्धः यम आमनन्ति स्म हि शब्दयोनिम् मनोमयं सत्त्वतुरीयतत्त्वम्
कच्चित् शिवं देवक-भोजपुत्र्याः विष्णु प्रजायाः इव देवमातुः या वै स्वगर्भेण ददार देवं त्रयी यथा यज्ञवितानम् अर्थम् अपि स्वित् आस्ते भगवान् सुखं वः यः सात्वतां कामदुःख अनिरुद्धः यम आमनन्ति स्म हि शब्दयोनिम् मनोमयं सत्तुर्यतत्त्वम्. हरे कृष्ण.
कच्चित् शिवं देवक-भोजपुत्र्या विष्णुप्रजाया इव देवमातुः या वै स्वगर्भेण दधार देवं त्रयी यथा यज्ञवितानमर्थम् अपि स्वेदास्ते भगवान् सुखं वा यः सात्वतां कामदुःख अनिरुद्धः यम आमनन्ति स्म हि शब्दयोनिम् मनोमयं सत्त्वतुरीयतत्त्वम्.
Translation and purport by the Śrīla Prabhupāda, Jagadguru Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. As the Vedas are the reservoir of sacrificial purposes, so the daughter of King Devaka-bhoja conceived the Supreme Personality of Godhead in her home, as did the mother of the demigod. Is she Devaki doing well? May I inquire whether Aniruddha is doing well? He is fulfiller of all the desires of the pure devotees and has been considered from yore to be the cause of the Rigveda, the creator of the mind and the fourth plenary expansion of Vishnu. Purport by the Śrīla Prabhupāda, Jagadguru Śrīla Prabhupāda ki jai. The Vedas are full of transcendental knowledge and spiritual values. And thus Devaki, the mother of Lord Krishna, conceived the Lord in her home as personified meaning of the Vedas. There is no difference between the Vedas and the Lord. The Vedas aim at the understanding of the Lord, and the Lord is the Vedas personified. Devaki is compared to the meaningful Vedas and the Lord to their purpose personified. Adi Chaturbhuj, the original expansions from Baldeva are Vasudev, Sankarshan, Pradyumna and Aniruddha. All of them are Vishnu Tattvas or non-different personalities of Godhead. In the incarnation of Sri Ram, all these different expansions appeared for particular pastime. Lord Rama is the original Vasudev, and his brothers were Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. Aniruddha is also the cause of Mahavishnu, from whose breathing the Rigveda appeared. All this is nicely explained in the Markandeya Purana. In the incarnation of Lord Krishna, Aniruddha appeared as the son of Lord. Lord Krishna is in Dwarka is the Vasudev expansion of the original group. The original Lord Krishna never leaves Golok Vrindavan. All the plenary expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva, and there is no difference in their potency. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmletam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manabhishtam Stapitamena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuttapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshatarine Vancha Kalpataru Vecha Krupa Sindhuve Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. Today we continue Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3rd, chapter 1st, questions by Vidura. In this two shlokas, 33 and 34, we try to understand. In 33 and 34 shlokas, they inquiring about the incarnation of the Vedas, and there is no difference between the Vedas and the Lord, and they were asking about the Devaki, about the daughter of the King Devak, who considered the Supreme Personality of Godhead in her home, and here they comparing Devaki to the meaning of the Vedas and the Lord to their purpose personified. In 34 shloka, they asking about the Aniruddha is Aniruddha is the fulfiller of all desires of the pure devotees, and again they describe about the cause of the Rupeta, creator of the mind, and fourth plenary expansions of Vishnu. Here they are describing about Chaturvyuha, and Prabhuji will tell us nicely in detail. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Pranam.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you very much, Mataji, for starting these discussions on the important topic of Devakī Aniruddha. Because the shlokas, when we study them in depth, they are able to make us understand, and they are able to be revealing the Lord's hidden divinity. So you have seen at the start, Vidura inquires about the well-being of various members of the Yadu dynasty. Now, among the many queens and the relatives, he specifically asks about Devaki. The question naturally arises, why Devaki? So, Vidura's special enquiry about Devaki springs from the fact that the Supreme Lord himself appeared in her. Many saints go to Vaikuṇṭha, but Śrīla Prabhupāda states, to receive the Supreme Lord as one's son is exceedingly rare. So this becomes the foundation for understanding of these verses, which glorify Devaki as well as Aniruddha, and reveal deep Vedic truths about the Lord's nature. Now, Devaki, as you will see, is considered as the embodiment of the Vedas. And that is why in the shloka it is mentioned, just as the Vedas are transcendental reservoirs of sacrificial meanings, Devaki, now the explanation of Devaki is also given, the daughter of Devaka-bhoja. So this Devaki, she conceived the Supreme Lord within her womb. And the analogy given is just like Aditi carried Vāmanadeva. So after explaining this, she asks, is she well? So if you look at the purport, the key insight which comes out is Devaki is equal to the meaningful Vedas. Why? The Vedas are filled with transcendental knowledge and all point towards understanding the Supreme Lord. Similarly, Devaki is compared to meaningful Vedas because Krishna is the personified purpose of the Vedas. So just as the Vedas reveal the Lord, Devaki revealed the Lord by carrying him in her. Such a profound parallel. As the Vedas manifest the Lord intellectually, Devaki manifested him physically. So Vidura's inquiry about Devaki was very apt. She is the mother of Supreme Personality of God. Her devotion is extraordinary, and her womb was personally chosen by the Lord. So her well-being is not ordinary. It is spiritually significant. The divine descent of the Lord into the womb is unparalleled. The mystical process of the Lord's descent is simply glorious. So Krishna first appeared in the mind of Vasudeva through divine transfer. Now mind is not here, mind is here. You have seen it in the previous verses. So from Vasudeva's mind, that divine form transferred into Devaki's mind by the Lord's own power. And then Devaki experienced normal pregnancy symptoms, the feeling of a child within. Yet, the Lord did not take ordinary birth. He manifested directly. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. He manifested directly in his four-armed Vishnu form. So the experience of motherhood was real, but the birth was transcendental. And it does not stop here. after seeing the four-handed form in which the child was born, Devaki, who was so happy to be a mother, was astounded. And she requested, "Oh Krishna, you cannot be in this form, otherwise I will not be able to give you motherly love. Please don't be in this form." And just like an obedient son, Krishna accepts and he becomes a two. He takes the two-handed normal human form. Such was the divine birth of Lord Shri Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare. And then Vidurji asks about Aniruddha. He glorifies Aniruddha. Because Aniruddha, Vidurji says, grasps the desires of the devotees. Aniruddha is known as the source of the Vedas, Shabda Yoni. So he is described as Manomaya, controller of mind, and the fourth expansion is pure Sattva. So we need to understand few words from this verse. Sattva, Turiya, Tattva. The fourth principle. Sattva, Turiya, Tattva means the fourth principle. So two interpretations are discussed generally about this. Sattva is subtle body. And the fourth element of the subtle body is Manaha, mind. As Aniruddha is the regulator of the mind. Second interpretation, Sattva means Shuddha Sattva, the pure spiritual platform. So Aniruddha is the fourth of the Chaturvya forms. Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, Vespa. You all remember? So that is Aniruddha. So Shabda Yoni means sources of the Vedas. Now, why is Aniruddha called Shabda Yoni? Because the Vedas arise from the breath of the Lord. And since Aniruddha is Vishnu himself, the Vedas originate from him. And hence, if you see a reference from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad is cited, from his exhalation, the Rig Veda was manifested. Aniruddha is also Manomaya, controller of the mind. Maya, when you talk of Manomaya, here does not mean full of, but controller of. So Aniruddha governs the generation of thoughts, the movement of pran, and the initiation of speech. Go back to our second canto, 10th chapter, verse number 30, where we studied how the mind was created. Because Krishna desired. And then the controlling deity of the mind, Chandradev. So same thing is happening here. So Aniruddha is the presiding deity of the mind. Not controlling, presiding. So this establishes that Aniruddha is not an ordinary Yadav, but the pure Vaishnu expansion of Krishna. And this is demonstrated through Leela. Even when Aniruddha appeared to be arrested by Banasur, he appeared helpless. But it was deliberate. Just as Lakshmana once appeared unconscious in the Ramayana, or Sita appeared kidnapped, or the Lord appears to act like a human being, similarly, Aniruddha being arrested by Banasura, appearing helpless, was deliberate. All these roles, they are assumed so that the Lord can perform his pastimes and teach lessons. And that is how Aniruddha, is not simple. He is an expansion through this Leela. So which are the Chaturvyuha expansion? So we know Krishna expands into Balaram, Balramji expands into Sankarshan, Sankarshana expands into Pradyumna, and Pradyumna expands into Aniruddha. So Brahmaji says, I am created through the agency of Aniruddha. So this establishes Aniruddha as a pure Vishnu Tattva expansion, not an ordinary soul. There is a thematic connection also if you see verse number 33 and 34. Like in 33rd shloka, we see the Lord's manifestation through the womb of a pure devotee. So Devaki reveals the Lord just as the Vedas reveal him. And in 34th shloka, we see the expansion of the Lord through the Chaturvyuha. And the Lord as the source of Vedic sound and controller of the mind. So together they reveal the Lord appears both through divine wombs and divine expansions. And both manifestations serve one purpose: the welfare of all living beings. So the question naturally arises that there is, like we see, there is no difference between the Vedas and the Lord. The Vedas aim at understanding of the Lord, and the Lord is the Vedas personified. So what was the necessity for Krishna to create all this Leela, or to make explanations, so much of explanations? Why this whole thing happened? So when this question was raised, the answer which was given was, in Kali Yuga, generally people don't understand. And even if they understand, they don't want to believe without evidence. And hence, Bhagavatam is carrying so many evidences so that people understand the truth as it is. So Prabhupada ji in the shloka, in the purport to the shloka, talks of Chaturbhuja. Now we know there are Adi and two Chaturvyuhas. So originally is also Vespa, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and all of them are Vishnu Tattvas. And when the Rama Leela happened, all these expansions appear for particular pastimes. So Vasudeva appeared as Ramji, Sankarshan as Lakshman, and then Pradyumna and Aniruddha as the other two brothers. And Aniruddha is also the cause of Mahavishnu, from whose breathing the Rigveda appear. So we know this in Markandeya Purana. So Lord Krishna in Dwarka is the Vasudeva expansion of the original Guru. And original Lord Krishna never leaves Golok Vrindavan. All the plenary expansions are one and the same Vishnu Tattva. And so there is no difference in their potency. So we need to understand this in details so that we don't get confused. We have to have full faith that Krishna is there. Krishna, 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 Hare. And once we have that faith, then there's nothing in this world which can deviate us from this path of going back home, back to Godhead. So these two shlokas become important from that angle, because they again talk about, through Aniruddha, the importance of mind control. Because mind is very slippery. And mind in turn is the controller of all the senses. So unless mind is controlled, the senses will not be controlled. And that is why Prabhupada ji says, don't try to control your senses. Just train your mind to be Krishna conscious and the senses will fall in line. So how do we train it? By giving proper nutrition to mind in the form of chanting, in the form of Shastra Patan, that is reading of the scriptures, Sankirtan, association, ensuring that there is service to devotees, to Guru. So these are all things which will be nourishment to the mind, enable it to come under control. And when mind becomes controlled, the senses also automatically start serving Krishna. So these two shlokas, they are important. Together they reveal the extraordinary spiritual position of Devaki, which is equal to the Vedas themselves. Secondly, the cosmic role of Aniruddha as a source of Vedic sound and controller of the mind. Thirdly, the transcendental nature of the Lord's appearance, both as a human child and as the divine expansions. So Vidur's questions are therefore not merely family inquiries. They are deep theological investigations to how the Supreme Lord reveals himself for the upliftment of the universe. Hare Krishna. Kripami Mataji, you had some question. You can unmute and ask. Your hand is raised. Hare Krishna. I think
Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. One doubt, Prabhuji. Krishna is expanding himself to Balarama, and Balarama's expansion only Sankarshana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva.
Yes.
Prabhuji?
Yes.
And then you told that Balarama is expanding himself to Sankarshana.
It's basically sequential. Yeah, it's sequential, Mataji. So we have Krishna. You can go again to the first canto, third, fourth chapter, where we have this. Now I'm not having that chart in front of me right now, but you have Krishna at the top. Yeah, we have Krishna at the top. So from Krishna you have Balramji, immediate second. Now Balramji is having these 4 expansions, but they come one after the other. Vasudeva.
It includes Vasudeva,
Sankarshan, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. So it's Balramji after whom all these 4 are coming, but they are coming one after the other. So elder brother is always a younger child is always a part of the elder child, right? That is why in that sense it is mentioned here that from Sankarshan came Vespa, Pradyumna, and from Pradyumna came Aniruddha. Because again now when you see this Sankarshan,
all of them are Krishna only, no, Prabhuji.
All of them are Krishna Tattvas, expansions. Krishna Tattvas. Yes, because now in second Chaturvyuha, from Sankarshan you have Narayan, and then from Narayan you have the second Chaturvyuha. First was the Adi Chaturvyuha, and now you have the second Chaturvyuha. Again Vespa, Vasudeva, Sankarshan, Pradyumna, Aniruddha. And here then you have this Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, Kshirodakshay Vishnu, and the fourth Vishnu. Okay? So that is how this whole thing happens.
Karnodakshay
Vishnu. Yes.
Okay.
Clear, Mataji?
Understood. Clear.
And then it's only Krishna who comes as Krishna. Otherwise, whatever avtaras that we saw in the second canto, if you remember, the avtaras were discussed by us in second canto, the various avtaras. So they are all not coming from Krishna directly. They are coming from the Chaturvyuha. So whether is Lord Narsimha, Lord Rama, Vaman, anything, Hari, Haigriv, they are not, none of them is coming directly from Krishna. They are coming from the Vishnu Tattvas, the expansion forms. But Krishna comes as it is. And that is why Krishna is Avatari. He is not Avatar. He is not an incarnation. Krishna is Krishna himself. Okay, Mataji?
Okay.
Yeah. Hare Krishna.
Thank
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I welcome